So for about 20 years, I have been mystified by the designs of devil fruits. More so, why did Oda decide to depict them with swirls? However, I think I have come upon the reason why these devil fruits have swirls. And it's very, very simple. You see in chapter 1069, 6 and 9 being the swirliest looking numbers, by the way, they are in direct opposition to one another. Vegapunk tells us how devil fruits are manifested. They are the dreams of people, the wishes that a person could do X, or would it be cool if I could do this? Those dreams then manifest themselves in the forms of devil fruits. But you know what's very interesting about this, especially seeing as how who tells us this information? If you look at a devil fruit, right, and you think about the nature based on these statements by Vegapunk, where do these ideas come from? They come from your brain. What does a brain look like? It is a lump of matter riddled with swirls, riddled with grooves and ridges. So the stylized variant of that would be swirls. The swirls that you see in the devil fruit. The reason why it's so interesting that Vegapunk himself says this because he literally has the brain fruit. So the brain fruit man is telling you that devil fruits come from the brain because they are the dreams, the wishes, and the ideals of people. So that's the reason why devil fruits are designed in that way. They are to represent the brain, even if it's in a very cartoony, stylistic way. That's the point, because they are literally birthed from the ideals of people. This makes even more sense when you consider what devil fruits do. For example, Paramecia, for the most part, are based off of constructs and concepts that people have made up or have given meaning to, like shadows or castles or operations or even weight. Weight is a completely human invention, a unit of measurement thought up by human minds to determine how heavy one thing is from another thing. If you think about, say, animals, well, animals have been both named and categorized by humans. Humans for thousands of years in our own world have always thought and dreamed up what it would be like to have the powers of the beasts that surround them in everyday life. And then this goes into logias, the concept of elements, which often take the form of natural disasters such as mudslides or wildfires or sandstorms or avalanches or hailstorms, things that people would experience and see the awesome power of and want to utilize for themselves, which is why you have Logia fruits. So I can see, even if we go into even more abstract territory with Logia fruits like Teach's fruit, it makes even more sense because darkness has always been a very prominent fear and a prominent ideal in the minds of people. So it's both literal and then psychological. Light, too, can kind of be a mixture of both because it's like actual light that lights the darkness, or it could be like, say, all the sort of angelic and holy connotations people give light throughout history. So maybe that has a bearing in One Piece with Kizaru, but that's being a bit presumptuous. Then I think this is why mythical Zoans have been given such a prominent aspect and a prominent place in the story, because the thing with mythical Zoans is that they are probably the most powerful devil fruits in the series simply because of the logic presented by Vegapunk here. When Nika is introduced by Who's Who, he wonders if he, as a figure, even exists or if he was dreamed up by those people in need. That's the clincher there. Mythical Zoans, as a whole, are completely fictitious beings dreamed up by the minds of people, by the brains of people, and then manifested into the forms of fruits. They aren't like your standard Zoan type of devil fruit. They aren't animals in the wild. They aren't animals that are extinct. They are purely born out of imagination. Therefore, you could say Luffy is a comic book character in a comic book, basically, Because that's the thing with every mythical zone. They don't exist. None of the people who have fruits actually have the fruit of a being that exists. The being that embodies that fruit is the amalgamation, the manifestation of all the dreams and all the legends cooked up by people. Then that is just manifested into a fruit. That's why they are so powerful. They're completely made of dreams, quite literally. They're dreams. I think the reason why, too, they taste bad is because the fruit that is being possessed by the essence is now no longer that fruit. It's the representation of that essence. And I guess essence or thought or what have you just tastes bad all around because they all kind of are the same thing, just in different intensities with different effects. Devil fruit powers in general, I'm talking about. So they would, I guess, all taste essentially the same, and they all have the properties of compromising the vessel, the fruit of which they are contained in. So that's probably why they all taste bad, because what does a thought taste like? So with that being said, give me your thoughts.